underneath. No, it's inside the binder slot. Inside the binder.
All right. ISUPK Syracuse, upstate New York Sabbath service. Police officer, 5,000 a month, conducting. All right. Going to say the prayers. Imajim, which means stand. Those of you that are tuning in online, make sure you like, share, subscribe. ISUPK Upstate New York Syracuse on Facebook. If you can hear and see me, press 1. If you can hear and see me, press 1. If you cannot hear and see, let me know. We'll check the chat and we'll get back to you. All right. Sar, which means to turn. Wapanya Hakwadam, which means face the east. Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Kodash.
Kodash.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakavka.
Malakavka.
Kabbalah.
Kabbalah.
Katazaka.
Katazaka.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Barakazah.
Barakazah.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Bashemayim.
Bashemayim.
Nathanawa.
Nathanawa.
Lukam.
Come.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalakanawa.
Wasalakanawa.
Kalbwathnawa.
Wasalakanawa.
Nasalaknawa.
Wasalakanawa.
Kalbwathinawa.
Wasalakanawa.
Walaa.
Walaa.
Tabianawa.
Tabianawa.
Manasayawan.
Manasayawan.
Abol.
Abol.
Hawashayanawa.
Hawashayanawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rad.
Rad.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Ka.
Amalakwa.
Malakwa.
Waha'ala.
Walaa.
Wahathaparath.
Wasalakanawa.
Lawalamyam.
Amen.
Aman.
Amen.
In English. Our Father,
Our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done
Thy will be done
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily bread.
and forgive us our debts
Forgive us our debts
as we forgive our
as
debtors.
we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not
And lead us not
into temptation,
into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom
and the power,
and the power
and the glory,
and the glory
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it.
Prayer for the power, Hakak in the Hebrew. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushai,
Hashem Yahushua,
Babakusha,
Babakusha,
Athondanawa,
Thundernawa,
Hakak,
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 Larapah,
Laparah,
Kalmakla,
Kabbalah,
Wakamanawa,
Kabbalah,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Batahar,
Batahar,
Hamatazarayim,
Hamazariah,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Lahakwayim,
Lahaki,
Hamathim,
Hamathi,
Hakak,
Hakak,
Al-Rakawath,
Arkawa,
Batama'ala,
Hamazala,
Lagarashun,
Garashun,
Ba'ashem Yahushai,
Hashem Yahushua,
Duaraman.
Duaraman,
All right, in the English, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahushai,
name Yahushua,
please give us the power,
please give us the power,
power to heal
power to heal,
all manner of sickness,
all manner of sickness,
and all manner of disease,
all manner of disease,
power to cleanse the lepers,
power to cleanse the leper,
power to raise the dead,
power to raise the dead,
power against unclean spirits,
power against unclean spirits,
to cast them out.
cast them out.
In the name of Yahushai,
In the name of Yahushua,
thank you.
thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
All right, Psalm 8, that's like your prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh,
Barak Yahweh,
Wa Yahushai,
Wa Yahushua,
Wa Me'aka'ala,
Wa Yahweh,
Wa Alahayim,
Wa Alahayim,
Batazab Yah,
Tabiyah,
Al-Wat Yahana,
Alwap Yahweh,
Ha-Al-Wapyam,
Ha-Ha-Wapim,
Ha-Saranyam,
Ha-Sabranyam,
Ha-Kwadazayanyam,
Ha-Kutayanyam,
Ha-Kayayayam,
Ha-Kutayanyam,
Wa-Akwathyam,
Wa-Akwat,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushai,
Hashem Yahushua,
Duaraman.
Wa-Raman.
In English, bless you Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahushai,
and Yahushua,
and Michael,
and Mike,
the angels,
the angel,
Commanding General Yohana,
Manager Yahweh,
the generals,
General,
the captains,
Captain,
the officers,
the officers,
the troopers,
troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sister.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai,
Yahweh, name of Yahushua,
thank you,
thank you.
so be it.
So be it.
Psalm 121 in the Hebrew. Asha,
Asha,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Al-Haharyam,
Ahar,
Al-Haharyam,
Al-Ahari,
Ma'ayan,
Mayan,
Yaba'ah,
Yaba'ah,
Izaria,
Izari,
Izaria,
Izari,
Ma'ayin,
Ma'ayin,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Shemayim,
Shemai,
Wa'aratazah,
Barakza,
Al-Yathun,
Alathan,
Lamawat,
Namawat,
Rugalka,
Gav,
Al-Yanawum,
Ayanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Hana,
Anna,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yanawum,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yayashun,
Yashan,
Shalamor,
Sharamah,
Yasharala,
Yashab,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Zalka,
Zar,
Al-Yah,
Ayah,
Yamyanka,
Yamyaka,
Yawamum,
Yamamam,
Hashimash,
Hashimash,
La'ah,
Wa'ah,
Yakaka,
Kasha,
Wairak,
Rairak,
Balayla,
Walayla,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamarka,
Makalrai,
Karai,
Yashamor,
Yashamar,
Athnapashka,
Ashapash,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamor,
Yashamar,
Tazaafka,
Tazah,
Wabuaka,
Obala,
Maitha,
Micah,
Wa'aid Awalam.
why I will
In the English, I will lift up my eyes into the
I
hills.
lift up my eyes into the hills,
From whence cometh my help?
from which comes my help.
My help cometh from the Lord,
My help comes from the Lord,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy
The
soul.
Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in,
and thy coming in.
from this time forth
This time forth
and even forevermore.
and forevermore.
All right. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim,
Alai,
Al-Dam Yalaka,
Al-Dam Yalka,
Al-Fakarash,
Al-Dam Korash,
Wa Al-Fashakwat,
Al-Tashqua,
Al-Kayahana,
Al-Kayahayina,
Al-Yabuka,
Al-Yabiga,
Yahama Yawan,
Yahamo Yawan,
Wamash, what's like it? Wamashanayaka,
Umashanayaka,
Nasha,
Nasha,
Wa,
Wa,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ah,
Al-Amaka,
Amka,
Yaira Yamwa,
Yahweh Yamka,
Sawad,
Suwa,
Waya, it's like it, Waya Tha'ait has a one,
why is the eye of the war?
Al has a Pawanyaka,
Outside the Pomoka,
Amarwa,
tomorrow,
Lakawa,
Bakar,
Wanakakiram,
Okati,
Magoya,
God,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yazakar,
there's a car,
Sham Yasha'ala,
Sham Yashala,
Iwad,
I want,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Nawait has a one,
the eye of the war,
La,
La,
Yakadwa,
Ikado,
Al Yakab,
Ayaka,
Baryath,
Baya,
Yakarathwa,
Yakarafa,
Aholia,
Ahali,
Arwum,
I want,
Wayashma'alim,
Wayasha'alo,
Mawa'aba,
Baba'al,
Wahagariam,
Bahagari,
Gabal,
Labo,
Waimawan,
Waimawan,
Waimalak,
Waimalak,
Kalashath,
Kalasha,
Imishabia,
Amnishabia,
Tazawar,
Tazawar,
Gum Ashawar,
Gamashwar,
Nalawa,
Talawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Hayawa,
Iowa,
Zarawai,
Narwa,
Bunyalawat,
Banya
Salah,
Salah,
Aishalaham,
Ashalaham,
Kamadya,
Madya,
Kasayasara,
Kasayasara,
Kayabya,
Kayanga,
Banakal,
Balaka,
Wayashwan,
Kayashma,
Nashimadwa,
Nashimaba,
Ba'ayanda Ara,
Ayando Ar,
it's like Hayawa,
Haim,
Daman,
Daman,
Ba'adama,
Badama,
Chayathamwa,
Shaitamwa,
Nadiyabawa,
Nabuyaba,
Nadiyabmawa,
Nawayabi, Mawa,
Kaira,
Kara,
Wakazaaba,
Aza'alo,
Wakazabak,
because of Bak,
Wakatazal Manai,
because of Mount Zanai,
Kalnasiyakamwa,
Kalnase Kamwa,
Ashor,
the Shaw,
Amorwa,
Amaro,
Nayarasha,
Nair Rasha,
Lanawa,
Lamawa,
Af,
Ah,
Nawath,
Nawa,
Alahayam,
Alahaya,
Alahayab,
Alahaya,
Chayathamwa,
Shaitamwa,
Kagagala,
Kagala,
Kukwash,
Kukwash,
the Panyaraka,
Pummer, Awakwa,
Kaash,
Kaash,
Tabaira Yaira,
the Aya Yaira,
Wakalahaba,
Wal Kalahaba,
so like it. Balahat, Harayam, Khan, Baradatma,
Daradam,
Baka,
Basaira,
Wabasawa Pathka,
Rabasaba Pathwa,
Babahalam,
Sabalhaya,
Mala'a,
Malaa,
Panyam,
Panya,
Kwalawan,
Pamalon,
Bayabakwashwa,
Babakwasha,
Shamka,
Subka,
Yahawa,
Yahawah,
Yabashwa,
Yabashi,
Wayabahalwa,
Yabahawa,
Aidi,
Aya,
Wayakaparwa,
Wayapar,
Wayabadwa,
Wayabad,
Wayada Iwa,
Waya the Aya,
Kaya Atha,
Wayatha,
Shamka,
Shimka,
Yahawa,
Yahweh,
Labadka,
Rabaka,
Alyawan,
Aliwan,
Alkaha Rathaza.
Alkahar Rasasa.
In English, keep not thy silence, O God.
Ye keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace.
and be not still,
And be not still,
O God.
O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thy enemies make a tumult.
and they that hate thee
For they that hate thee,
have lifted up the head.
and lift up the heads.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken counsel against thy people.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
And have consulted against thy head ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
let us cut them off from being a nation,
let us cut them off from being a nation.
that the name of Israel
That the name of Israel
may be no more remembrance.
shall be no more in remembrance.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
let us cut them off from being a nation,
let us cut them off from being a nation.
that the name of Israel
That the name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together in one consent.
They are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against
the
thee.
tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
of Moab,
of Moab,
and the Hagarenes,
and the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
The sword also is joined with them.
The shore also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They are hoping the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah,
Do unto them
do unto them
as unto the
as
Midianites,
unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as unto Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as unto Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
at the brook of Kison,
which perished at Endor.
perish at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red,
Make the nobles like a red.
and like Zan.
And Zayed.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes,
all their princes.
as Zabah,
As Zabah.
and as Almunah,
And Zalmunna.
who said,
Who said,
let us take to ourselves
let's take to ourselves
the houses of the Most High
the houses of the Most High
in possession.
in possession.
O my power,
Oh, my power.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as the stubble before the wind,
As the stubble before the wind.
as the fire burneth the wood,
As the fire burneth the wood.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
As the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
Make them afraid with thy storm.
Make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh.
let them be confounded
Let them be confounded.
and troubled forever.
In trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame
Let them be put to shame.
and perish,
And perish.
that men may know
That men may know.
that thou,
That thou.
whose name alone is,
Whose name alone is.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
art the Most High
Art the Most High.
over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
All right, Sar, Yushabim, which means be seated. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, Police Officer 5000 Abund, conducting the Sabbath service. All right, ISUPK Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, Niagara Falls, what have you, upstate New York, Erie, Pennsylvania. If you're in the region, tune in. All right. Was the sound on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, so we're on now. We're at the book of 2 Kings, chapter 3, verse 11. How many sets of 7 are we doing, sir? This one. Going to read 7 verses. 2 Kings, chapter 3, verses 11 through 18. It's a lot here. All right, with the book of 2 Kings, chapter 3, bear with me 1 second. 2 Kings, chapter 3, verse 11. But Jehoshaphat said, is there not a prophet of the Lord, that we may inquire of the Lord by him? See, that's what we have to understand as so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, is that whenever, in old times, when a man went to go inquire of God, he did not go to Steve Harvey or Wendy Williams or Facebook or TikTok. He or she went to a man of God. That's what it says in 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 9. And this is a precept for what Rebekah actually did when it said she inquired of the Lord and said, if it be so, why am I thus? She went to a seer. She went to a prophet. Okay? The spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. Meaning this, those that are prophets now and that endure now, this is what you've always done. This is what you've always done throughout the ages, throughout the millennia. And you're just back here on the earth doing what you've done before. That's to the brothers that endure, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, all right, and do the duties that a prophet and priest must do, all right. And one of the king of Israel's servants answered and said, here is Elisha, the son of Shaphat, which poured water on the hands of Elijah, all right. Elisha, to my recollection, was Elijah's right-hand man. Elijah passed on, meaning Elijah was taken up. Elijah was taken up into the chariot, all right, the Most High. He was up there for a period of time, passed away on the chariot, and then Elijah came back as John the Baptist. Elisha was his right-hand man. Let's read on, verse 12. And Jehoshaphat said, the word of the Lord is with him. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat and the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat and the king of Edom went down to him. These are 3 kings, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat, and the king of Edom. Okay, so there was dealings that we were having with Edomites. All right, and of course, we are not to make league. We are not to make league with them in the sense that we can't go and serve their gods. Okay, but in the context of business, trade, or what have you, we can have agreements with whoever we want. All right, but according to, if you read on before and after the verses I'm going to read, it'll give you the context on what sort of relation we had with the king of Edom at this time, and with the Edomites in general. All right. Verse 13, and Elisha said unto the king of Israel, what have I to do with thee? Get thee to the prophets of thy father, and to the prophets of thy mother. And the king of Israel said unto them, nay, for the Lord hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. So there was a war that I believe that the prophet Elisha had prophesied, that the king of Israel, the king of so-called Latinos and natives, all right, the king of Judah, Jehoshaphat, the king of so-called Negroes, as well as the king of Edom, are going to fall to the Chinese, the Moabites, the crouching tiger, hidden crouching tiger, hidden dragon. Okay, they were going to come down there with their kung fu, and they were going to kick the teeth out of 3 kingdoms. That's what the prophet Elisha prophesied. All right, at verse 13, and Elisha said, "The Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand. Surely, were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I would not look toward thee, nor see thee." All right? I mean this, if I wouldn't have regarded Jehoshaphat, I wouldn't have even answered you. I wouldn't have even regarded you. Because I stand for the Lord, and that's what the Lord said was going to happen to you. You're going to get your teeth kicked in by the so-called Chinese, the Moabites, according to the Bible. Verse 15, "But now bring me a minstrel." And it came to pass, when the minstrel played, you all know what minstrels are. They're it's like a clown or what have you. You can go check out medieval documents, read medieval texts. A minstrel was a person who would make a show of themselves for entertainment. All right, this is before TV, social media, Twitter, what have you. Humans still wanted to be entertained in their spare time. All right, so in old times they had minstrels. That the hand of the Lord came upon him. And he said, "Thus saith the Lord, make this valley full of ditches. For thus saith the Lord, ye shall not see wind, neither shall ye see rain. Yet the valley shall be filled with water, that ye may drink, both ye and your cattle and your beasts. And this is but a light thing in the sight of the Lord. He will deliver the Moabites also into your hand." All right? Just like, bear with me 1 second. Let me get back to 11. So they're having a discussion. These kings were having, so basically these kings were having a discussion about Moab. It was either the prophet that said it, or it was one of these kings that surmised it, that Moab was going to come down in battle and defeat them. Elisha said to Jehoshaphat, because he regarded Jehoshaphat, he regarded the kingdom of Judah at this time. Remember, the Lord said that Judah is my fine flower. All right? And Judah is my fine flower. And you look up in the history, Judah was the last kingdom to fall. So the Lord at this time was still, with Judah, in the sense that we were still regarded as the nation of Israel, in the sense that we were still, as a nation, as a tribe, doing what the Most High said. However, we had time and time again where the kings of Judah were going off, serving other gods, sleeping with heathen women, etc. And the Lord had enough of it. In 70 AD, he destroyed Judah, so-called Negroes as well. Many of us fled into Africa. Some of us fled into Europe. And then 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. In and around that time period, we were taken into slavery. All right, through the transatlantic slave trade to different ports in the Americas, what's now called the Americas. Okay, the Lord regarded Jehoshaphat, the prophet regarded Jehoshaphat and said, Moab's gonna come into your hand. You're gonna defeat Moab. Okay, you're gonna defeat them with that weak, kung fu or what have you. Okay, those weak fighting styles that they have that has been proven time and time again. If you get somebody that actually knows how to fight, knows some boxing, wrestling, some submission grappling, that kung fu is useless. The taekwondo, what have you, a lot of that stuff is useless. It has its purpose, but no fighting style is greater than the fighting style of the Lord, the fighting style of the Israelites. That's the point I'm trying to make. And as you read on down, you'll find out the Moabites were defeated. This was 2 Kings chapter 3, verses 11 through 18. All right, due to time constraints, we're going to conclude the Sabbath service now. All right, that being said, I'm priest officer of 5,000 Abun. I'm glad to preside over the ISUPK Upstate New York Sabbath service. All right, we're going to be in camp at Rochester, New York, 1:30 to 4:30. All right, we'll go live throughout. Share, subscribe. Check us out, www.isupk.com. Make sure you tune into the Black Watch. Tune into the Black Watch, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can search on YouTube Black Watch News, or you can search Commanding General Yohana, and it'll take you to the Black Watch News channel, YouTube channel. All right. There's also a website. You can go to www.isupk.com to find the Black Watch website. All right. With that being said, shalom.
Transition.